Oh man, what a day, what a day. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Bourbon of the Week. My name's Chris. I'm going to be your host for today, and today we have a bottle called Wheel Horse Bourbon. Now, this comes out of a distillery called River Distillery. We're going to talk more about them during the Bourbon Bomb of the Week, but full disclosure, they sent me this bottle. They reached out on Instagram. They asked me if I wanted to try it, to review it. So they did send me this bottle. I haven't even opened it yet. We're going to do that all today on Bourbon of the Week. Stick around. Before I tell you anything more about this bottle, let's get right into it. Time for the traditional sip. Cheers, y'all. All right, let's see. Let me just start off by saying before I ever got into Whiskey Tube, I would never expect a distillery to actually reach out to me, let alone send me free product. But I also have an obligation to the viewer to make sure that they know an honest opinion on what I think about this bottle, because I do believe at this point that people are making purchases based off of my opinion, which is crazy to me. If you follow my palate and you like my palate, I completely agree with you. Go buy what I like because you like it as well. If you don't like my palate and you're the opposite, maybe if I don't like it, you end up liking it. But that's the best thing about whiskey, is everybody has something for them. Just because they sent me this bottle, though, does not mean that I'm going to give it a great review. I will say this. I posted this picture on Instagram for New Bottle Thursday this past Thursday, and somebody commented Wild Turkey Killer. Now, this comes in at 101 proof. We're starting with drinkability. Could this be the Wild Turkey Killer? Wild Turkey's around, I think it's up to 28 bucks here in Pennsylvania. This bottle coming in at $35, 101 proof for both of them. We got to find out. Drinkability, let's think about it. Now, because we have to keep the content here rolling on YouTube and somebody's willing to call this the Wild Turkey Killer, we're obviously going to put this up against Wild Turkey 101 eventually. We're not going to do that tonight, but at 101 proof, this is very easy to sip. At 21% rye, I was expecting a lot more heat on this. There's not a lot of heat. It's very easy to sip. If you're working your way up in the world through that 80, that 90, that 100 proof, people are telling you to buy Wild Turkey 101. This might be another bottle you want to check out. At 101 proof, we're going to take one more sip and give this a score for drinkability. I'm almost finished glass number 1 and we haven't even gotten past drinkability. That should tell you something. Listen, we started an 8.0 if it drinks at its proof. I don't think this drinks anywhere near its proof. I'd probably put it down closer to that 90 proof as a blind. I've got to give this a great score when it comes to drinkability. We're going to go into the 9s. I think low 9s, but still a 9. I'm going to say like a 9.15 when it comes to drinkability on this bottle. And as you know, that's going to get us into taste on this bottle next. Listen, this is copper pot stilled. It's that 21% rye. This is actually a lot more flavorful than I was ever expecting it to be. Usually I can pick up on copper pot stills. I don't know if I'm making that up, but in the past, I haven't usually enjoyed things that are copper pot stilled. This one, though, is the exception as of right now. At 21% rye, you get a lot of that spiciness on the back end, which I love. Up front, though, you're getting a flavor bomb of sweetness, brown sugar, some maple notes. Then on the very tail end, you're getting some oak that I really wasn't expecting at 3 to 4 years old. I always talk about it, right? That roller coaster ride, it gives me everything I want, which is why I love a high rye mash bill, right? You get the sweetness on the front, you get the spiciness in the middle, you get that age on the end if there is any. And for this particular glass, I'm getting some tobacco, some oak, some aged flavors that I wasn't expecting. This is delicious. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to pour some more up, and we're going to give you a score when it comes to taste. So the only real knock that I have on this particular glass when it comes to taste, and I don't know if it's the copper pot still or the youthfulness on this, but you get a little bit of a funky flavor right off the front, but it dissipates very quickly. Again, I think it's a little bit of that youthfulness that I'm picking up. I don't think I would say this is a 7 or 8-year-old bourbon if I blinded it. I think I would know that this is a younger whiskey, but they're also not trying to market themselves as a 7 or 8-year-old whiskey, and that price point reflects that. And we're going to get to that when it comes to price on this, but that's my only knock on this glass. One more sip and we're going to give it a score. There might even be like a raisin note on the front of this as well. Again, that maple, that raisin, that sweetness, that brown sugar, that rye spice, that black pepper, that allspice, that oak at the end. I don't really know what I shouldn't like about this bottle, especially at this price point. I'm going to give this a pretty good score. We're going to go high 8s when it comes to this bottle. I'm going to give it like an 8.79 when it comes to taste on this bottle right here. I gotta say, I'm getting a little bit nervous right now. Drinkability score was great, taste score was great, and all we have left is price. And at $34.99, we can't really give this a bad score for price. The Wild Turkey Killer, this just might be. We've got to take another sip. We always keep price short because it's very easy to figure out, is this worth 35 bucks? I mean, of course it's going to get a great score when it comes to price on this. It's got great scores for drinkability and taste, so at $35, what are you really going to be upset about? We're going to learn about Green River Distillery a little bit during the Bourbon Bomb of the Week, but I got to be honest with you, I had low expectations for this bottle going into it, and right now it looks like it might top the list, and at $35 for this flavor profile, for this drinkability, I think it deserves to. One more sip and we'll give it a score for price. Is it bad that I'm trying to find something in this glass to really not like about it? Because one, why did I not know about this bottle before now? And two, how is this bottle only $35? We all know about the big names out there. Evan Williams Bottled and Bond, Early Times Bottled and Bond, Wild Turkey 101, perhaps a Wild Turkey killer right here. We know they're fantastic. We know they're great. How is this bottle flying under the radar? It's definitely newer. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But at the end of the day, this glass right here is delicious, and I'm going to give it a great score when it comes to price on this as well. I'm going to say, again, the only thing holding it back is that youthful note. I'm going to say like a 9.2. Let's go flat 9.2 when it comes to price on this. But listen, while I add these scores up and perhaps pour a little bit more of this tonight, which I probably shouldn't, let's send it over to this week's Bourbon Bomb of the Week and learn a little bit more about Wheel Horse as well as Green River Distillery. Cheers, y'all. So while Green River Distillery itself might have gone by many different names over the years since the 1800s, it actually was almost destroyed multiple times, and in the first part of the 21st century was damn near done with. But in 2014, new ownership took over, brought it back to life, and because of that, we have the whiskey we're looking at today, as well as several other contracted whiskeys on the market that you've probably heard of. Green River Distillery is actually the 10th oldest permitted distillery in Kentucky, dating back to the 1800s, as I said, and Wheel Horse is one of the first whiskeys that they put out starting in 2019. And in case I haven't mentioned it yet, it does say on the back of this bottle, it is batch 4, okay? So if you have batch 1, 2, or 3, maybe things are different for you, but I do have batch 4 that I'm reviewing today. And if you're in the whiskey community, you've probably already heard in July of 2022, they were bought out by Bardstown Bourbon Company, which is crazy because they actually opened their doors in 2014 as well, and they respect Green River Distillery enough to make sure that they get their product and nobody else does. So all I can say is I'm definitely going to do a little bit more research on what Green River Distillery does for their contract distilling because I want to try a lot of other products that come from them. But let's send it back over and figure out the score for this bottle and where it fell on our ranking sheet. Cheers, y'all. Listen, this is kind of an ego check for me, and I'm going to say this right now, and I don't mean any disrespect to Wheel Horse off of what I'm about to say, but the only thing that this bottle doesn't have for it is marketing, at least here in Pennsylvania. I didn't know anything about this bottle. People are calling it the Wild Turkey Killer. I've never even heard of it before, and it's this good. If it's this good, it should be known, and maybe I'm just behind, and I don't know about it myself. Maybe there's other people that already knew about this bottle and is saying, shut up, Chris. Don't tell people about our sleeper picks, but this bottle right here needs to be known about, and this bottle came in at a 9.05, which is almost, I believe it's top 10 in our list right now, jumping right below like Stag Jr. and stuff like that. So it did beat out Wild Turkey 101 on my current ranking sheets, although I reviewed that a long time ago and obviously things can change, but at a 9.05, you need to pick up a bottle of this if you haven't yet. But listen, if you've stuck around this long, make sure you click that like and that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And I gotta be honest, if this bottle was crap and I had to tell you guys, I would feel a little bit bad just because they sent it to me for free. But in the meantime, make sure you check me out on Instagram at Bourbon of the Week. Go click that follow button over there. Check out our Patreon page as well as our Discord link in the description below. Check out our March Madness Bourbon Bracket Single Barrel Edition going on right now this March. And please don't drink and drive. Always drink responsibly and stay healthy, stay happy, stay drinking. Cheers, y'all. Who would have thought?